To another Stamp with Amy K YouTube Live, and today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the Frozen Edges stamp set bundle. This is one of the newer bundles from the Stampin' Up! September to December 2024 mini catalog. And it's a really pretty one. It's kind of tucked in the back of the catalog, so you may have missed it, like I did the first couple times. I ran through the catalog. It's not very well showcased. It's kind of tucked in towards the back. So I thought I'd show you a card made with it today so that hopefully you'll see it and like it as well as I do and pick it up and get it. So. Hey, Sally, thanks for hopping in today. And Carol, I see you're here as well. Thanks, everybody, for joining. So this is a card we're going to make today. And Pam and Julie, I see you're here, too. So it's pretty quick and easy. So, yeah, we'll just be making it. I added a little bit of sparkle on here with some pretty peacock glimmer paper from the I think it's called three color glimmer specialty paper. I think that's what it's called, but it's one of the online exclusive items. So, and a little bit of the shimmer ribbon, which is really pretty on here as well. All right, so that's the card. And I see Marilyn and Kathy and Susan. Thanks for joining today. And hello from Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's, I'm here in New Jersey, and it's kind of a gloomy day outside, but definitely kind of starting to feel a little like fall, which I like. I don't mind that at all. I'm not a big summer person, so I'm always happy when the weather cools off a little. Hopefully everybody down south, Florida, Georgia areas making it through this crazy storm down there. Okay, I know that my in-laws live down just north of Tallahassee, and they came through pretty well. So I mean, a few shingles missing here and there, and some trees down, but for the most part, they came through all right. So hopefully everybody else down there is in the same boat. So. All right, stamp set. This is it. It's called Frozen Edges, and I love the mixed font sentiments in here. And it's got just some fun images that you don't typically see, or fun sentiments that you don't typically see in stamp sets. This one says "Snuggle up and hope for snow," and then there's a "Wishing you a cozy day and let yourself rest." And then there's the kind of icicle look image, and then there's a little snow and an individual snowflake. And again, these are all the stamps in here, so they're all little individual images. And then there is this cool die set that coordinates with it. So this actually is what I used on here. So it kind of cuts as well as embosses some of the panel. It is a border or an edge die, if that makes sense. And then we have this die that cuts out your, I didn't even check to see if it cuts out the actual stamped frozen image. I sort of think it does, but I don't even know. Let me check. Nope, it doesn't look like it does. So this just cuts an icicle edge image, which doesn't match this. So yeah, at least, well, unless somebody else has played with it and figured out how to make it match up, it doesn't look like it. On first glance, it doesn't look like they're going to match up. So, all right. And then this snowflake, there's a die that cuts that, as well as, sorry, get me the stamp set out of the way. And then there are a couple of just little individual snowflakes, and those are the dies that I've used to cut the sparkly or glimmery snowflakes out here on my card front. All right, so we'll set that aside. One other thing that I did use on this card is I used the Stylish Shapes dies, which this is one of my go-to die sets. If you don't have this one, just go get it because you're going to want it. And I used the second largest of the circle dies to cut out my little sentiment on here, but that's all that I use this die set for. All right. Gloomy in Kentucky too. Yeah, it's definitely, I don't think ours is yet the effects of the hurricane. I think we're supposed to get that either later this weekend or early next week. But yeah, I know we're going to get some of the storm here, but nothing like what they got down south. So, all right. Couple things coming up from Stampin' Up. 30% off the kits collection is going to be starting on October 1st, which is next week, Tuesday, I think, or Monday. I don't know. I can't remember what day it is. Whatever day October 1st is. All kits in the kits collection are going to be 30% off. And kits are while supplies last. Some of them restock at some point. Some of them don't. So if there's a kit out there that you like, go grab it. Get 30% off. And yay, save a little bit. There are some really great kits. There are actually 2 of them that are Christmas card kits. So if you're like me and kind of always panicked and trying to get those last minute cards done, the kits are great because everything is included that you need. There are instructions right there for you. Most of them you can get done in an hour or so. And so, yeah, you got a stack of cards done in a couple minutes, and they're pretty awesome. All right, and really pretty kits, actually. We've got some good ones. All right, starter kit special. If you are not currently a demonstrator, October, well, it's always a great time to join, but October is an especially great time to join. Stampin' Up! Is doing a joining special where when you purchase the starter kit, is $99, and normally you get to pick $125 worth of whatever Stampin' Up! Merchandise that you would like. During the month of October, if you join, you get to actually pick $155 worth of whatever Stampin' Up! Product that you might like. There are some upcoming online exclusives that are going to be starting. The pre-order will be starting on October 1st as well. And if you join during October, you can add some of those pre-order items to your starter kit if you want to. Obviously, you don't have to, but if you want to get those, you can get those as part of your starter kit. Starter kits ship for free, which is also a nice thing. So you pay $99 plus tax, whatever that is in your area, if it applies, and ships for free. And so, yeah, it's a great deal. And then after that, you get 20% off any merchandise that you purchase as a demonstrator, at least 20% off, I should say. Plus, you can join demonstrator events and that sort of thing if you want to. There's no requirement to do any of that. There's no requirement to do anything other than join. So if you are interested in joining, have any questions about it, feel free to reach out to me. We'd love to have you come hang out on our team. Most of us are just happy stampers that love getting the discount for ourselves. So there's no push to sell anything. We're pretty relaxed when it comes to that. So let me know if you have questions. We'd love to have you come join us. All right. Right now, going on, Stampin' Up! Has got a 40% off your first paper pumpkin kit if you are a new subscriber. So if you subscribed during this month up through October 10th, up through October 10th, you will get 40% off the October kit, which is a Christmas card kit, which is awesome. We don't get to see everything about the kit, but you definitely can see a little sneak peek of what the kit is going to be like here. So it looks like a pretty one. And again, Christmas cards, who doesn't love that? You get 40% off your first kit if you are a new subscriber. And all you need to be a new subscriber is a new email address. So if you're a current subscriber and want to get the kit at 40% off, just have a new email address and magically you're a new subscriber. So let me know if you have questions about that. But the paper pumpkin kits have been pretty awesome lately. All right. New scrapbooking products are available or starting the 4th of September. So Stampin' Up! Has got some what they're calling scrapbooking workshop kits. And essentially they have some pages. I don't know how many are in each kit. I think 4 in each kit. They're pre-designed pages, and all the products that you need to create that page are included in the kit. All you have to do is basically put the pages together, add your photos, and the pages are done. Or you can take the pages, obviously, and turn them into whatever you want, but the products are all there, so you can be as creative or not as you want with them. So if you're a person like me that kind of likes to get some things done quickly, this might be a great option for you if you would like to do a little scrapbooking. And again, these are all available. I think they have them listed under memory keeping out in the online store. So not scrapbooking, look for memory keeping and you'll see the new products out there. World Card Making Day. Don't forget, World Card Making Day is coming up on the 5th of October, and from 2 to 3 p.m. Mountain Time, Stampin' Up! Is having an event. It's free if you would like to attend and check it out. You do need to register, so go to stampinup.com and then watch as the things scroll across the top. One of them will look like this, to say World Card Making Day on it. If you click on it, it will go to the registration page, put in your information, and then you'll be sent an email with a few details, and you'll be sent an email closer to the event date with everything about how you log in and get on the site. You do have to register in order to attend the event, so just make sure that you are doing that. And I think that's it for updates. And as always, don't forget to check your online exclusives in the online store anytime you're going to go shopping. All right, so let's get going on the card. Stuff stuck all over everywhere already. Okay, we have got a basic beige card base. This is one of the new colors from the annual catalog that Stampin' Up! Just started with. And I do love it. It's a really pretty neutral, kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit of a warmer tone, I guess is what I would call it. So, and I've got a little piece of the Season of Elegance Specialty Designer Series paper. It's actually got foiling on the flip side of it, but I didn't want the foiling look with this particular card, so I went with the more neutral look on it. And it's basic beige. The pack of paper has basic beige, pecan, or not pecan pie, pretty peacock. I think there's cherry cobbler and mossy meadow, or maybe the colors in it, or old olive and mossy meadow, or real red and cherry cobbler. I don't know exactly, but it's a pretty pack of paper. It's up towards the front. It's in the suite with the peaceful evergreens and peaceful season, I think it is, peaceful season stamp set bundles. Obviously, you don't have to buy the bundle in the whole suite, but you can certainly do that if you want to and get everything all together. or you can buy it separately if you just like the paper and want to get that all by itself. All right, this piece of designer series paper was cut to about 2 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this actually, all the measurements will be out on my blog tomorrow, and I'll link to the blog post once my post goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. Then I went ahead and pre-cut, but I'll show you how I did it. This is a piece of 5 1/2, and I started out with about a 4-inch, between 3 7/8 and 4-inch wide piece of pecan. Why do I keep wanting to call it pecan pie? This is clearly not pecan colored. It's, and I almost said it again, pretty peacock. I don't know why I'm struggling so much with that today. And then I just took my little border die and just lined it up over along the edge like this, and ran it right through the die cutting machine. And then it cuts off, obviously, on this side of it. It's going to cut. This side does not cut. So this will still be attached to the paper. There are some of the pieces in here that it cuts out. Obviously, where the little holes are, you can see that it's going to cut out. And then others, it kind of just, it cuts the paper, but it gives it more of an embossed look. So it doesn't cut all the way through on all of the images. Some of them are just embossed, and some of them are cut all the way through. So it is, does a really pretty die cut. And again, these are the Frozen Edges dies, which is part of the stamp set bundle. Then I'm going to grab my old embossing buddy, and we are going to rub that across this panel of cardstock. The embossing buddy is sold in the embossing editions kit, I think is what it's called. But it's a nice tool to have because it kind of takes away the static electricity, which gets a little worse as the weather gets. So definitely don't, you don't want static pieces stuck everywhere. That will stop your embossing powder from being stuck in places where you don't want it to be. And also it kind of lifts the fingerprints and that sort of thing, and oil from your fingers that gets on your cardstock. So it's a great tool to have. If you don't have one, grab one of those embossing editions kits. And we're going to grab Versamark ink, and I'm just inking up my snowflake image from the Frozen Edges stamp set. So I see Robin and Bonnie, and looks like Carol and Terry and Judy have all hopped in. So hey, thanks for joining today. All right, so ink that up with my Versamark ink. And I'm just going to stamp it here. Kind of, it's not going to be in any particular way, just kind of randomly stamping it across this piece of pretty peacock cardstock. Ink it up again, stamping it a second time on here, go up a little bit higher there. And then we've got a little bit of blank space up here on the top that I'm also going to stamp on. And I don't know how well the Versamark ink is showing up on your screen. I can see it here, but you probably can't see it very well at home. Once I put the embossing powder on it, you'll definitely be able to see it much better. We'll stamp it once over here, and then we get a little bit of open space over on this side that I'm also going to stamp. Just make sure we're pretty well covered with Versamark ink and snowflakes on that image. And then I've got white embossing powder, and we're going to sprinkle the embossing powder over the Versamark ink. And I'm going to sprinkle, I'll probably just do half at a time so that I make sure that I get it really well covered, and then tap off the extra. Put my little finger in there where there's a spot that's not got a bunch of embossing powder on it. And we'll go get the other half done. Make sure I tap off as much of the excess as I can here. It looks like we've got it pretty well covered, and there isn't too much extra on there. I'm going to close up my embossing powder. That is the Basics Wow embossing powders that I'm using. So it's a set of 3 embossing powders. White, black, and clear come in the Basics Wow, and I've just turned on the heat tool. The Stampin' Up! Heat tool has 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're doing something like watercoloring and want to speed up the process of drying a little bit, you can use the level 1 setting. And then level 2 setting is for heat embossing, so it gets a little bit hotter. And I'm going to take it here and turn it towards my project. And then once you see that it's starting to get kind of that shiny white look to it, you'll know that it is done embossing. Come on. Oh, there we go. It's starting to go. So shiny and white is what you're looking for, and you don't want to overheat it because you can actually burn your embossing powder, and then it is not so pretty. It turns kind of brown, and dull looking, which is definitely not usually the look you're going for when you're wanting to emboss something. So just keep your heat tool moving along on your project. And there we go. So, and just keep working and make sure we get everything embossed here. I'm going to run over everything one more time just to make sure, because sometimes, especially when I'm using white embossing powder, sometimes it's a little hard to tell whether it's actually fully embossed. There we go. All right. I missed that. It is that. Yes, it's Pretty Peacock cardstock. So, all right. So we've got all the embossing done on here, and I'm just giving it a second to cool off before I adhere it to the card front. So again, going back to my basic beige card front, and then I'm going to take my liquid glue again and put it over here on the half of the cardstock that's more solid. Make sure that I get it glued well here. And then I'm also going to take just a couple little spots here along the edge where I've got my a little more solid pieces in here, but I want to make sure that it is stuck down along this side as well. Just because when I initially had put it on my card front, I hadn't done that, and then I had some pieces that were kind of sticking up and didn't want to adhere very well to the card front. And I'll tell you the trick in a second that I used to fix that when I messed it up on, on my original card. So just lining up the edges here, and then giving it a little smoosh and sticking everything down. All right. There we go. So my original card, like I said, when I put it down, I had only put the adhesive over on this side of it, and I left this kind of free floating over here, and it was sticking up more than I wanted it to be in a few places. So I actually was able to just take a little glue dot, and I took my take your pick tool, the pointy tool on it, and just lifted up the flap here and stuck the little glue dot under there and pulled my point out and did the same thing right down here, and it stuck it down perfectly. So if you do what I did the first time around and don't stick it down very well, you can use glue dots to adhere it, and that'll work for you just as well, and nobody will be able to see it. The center you don't have to worry so much about because you're going to stick a bunch of things over the top of that, so nobody will notice that it's popped up there. Goodness, I got embossing powder and the stuff out of the, the little embossing buddy all over the place. Okay. Let me grab my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to put a little kind of glob of the Stampin' Seal here in the middle of the card. And again, it's going to look kind of yucky here, but nobody's going to see it but you and me, so it's okay if it doesn't look very nice when you put it on there. And then we're going to take some of this. This is the silver and white 1/2-inch sheer ribbon, and it's very pretty. I don't know if you all have seen it or not. It's obviously sheer, and it's white and a little bit silver along the edges, and it's absolutely beautiful ribbon. And we're just going to take it and we're going to put kind of a wide V here on the card front. And we'll take that, kind of fold it like that. And I'm just sticking it on here in the center with the adhesive that I'd stuck down on the card front. And we're going to grab, because I didn't grab my ribbon scissors, we're going to grab the paper snips and hack off the ribbon. So Karen, look away. I know it drives her crazy when I do it, but I can't help it. I forget my ribbon scissors all the time. All right, next thing we're going to do is stamp a sentiment. And I've got basic white cardstock, and here's my sentiment. I've got the Snuggle Up and Hope for Snow sentiment here on my block and Pretty Peacock ink. And we're just going to take that, ink it up, and stamp it here on the basic white cardstock. There we go. All right. Hey, Rosie, thanks for hopping in. You only look with one eye. I know, I can't help myself, Karen. One of these days, I'll have my ribbon scissors here actually like in my hand. Every once in a while, I remember it, and then I don't most of the time. All right. So I've got my Stylish Shapes dies, and again, I'm using the second largest of the Stylish Shapes dies, and we're going to just put it around this sentiment. I'm going to go run it through the die cutting machine, so I'll be right back. Get my die put back, set those aside, and get this out of the way since we're done with that. And I have my inked sentiment up here, and it was sitting right underneath where that card was going to end up at, and I was afraid I was going to end up with ink all over it. So, all right, grabbing a couple of my little mini Stampin', well, not mini, my cut in half Stampin' Dimensionals. So these are the full size ones, but I like the chopped in half size a little better than the full size version. I'm going to show you. It's very, very difficult. All I do is take my paper snips and chop right down the center of the row, and it cuts them in half. The mini Stampin' Dimensionals, in my opinion, are too small. The regular size ones are too big. And so then, yeah, I just use the half size ones. So picking off a little, the backings on all of these. Hey, thanks for hopping in and saying hello to Judy. So, and Marva, I see, is here as well. Thanks everybody for joining. So we've got our sentiment here, and I'm going to just make sure that my ribbon is kind of laid out fairly flat where I want it to be. And then we're going to roughly center the sentiment right over the top of the ribbon and smush it down with the Stampin' Dimensionals. With this, a lot of times when I use ribbons and twine and that sort of thing, I will make sure that I'm careful about where I put my dimensionals so I don't end up with them stuck over the top of the ribbon on a card front. But this card, because the ribbon is so thin on it, it really doesn't matter. You can lay it right over the top and stick it down, and actually the dimensionals help the ribbon to stay on the card front a little bit better. So where can you buy ribbon scissors? Anywhere. I mean, basically, I know some people actually just use paper snips, and they just wrap a little piece of ribbon around the corner of them and tie a bow on it or something and designate that as their ribbon scissors. The reason that, for the most part, people have a separate ribbon scissors as opposed to snips that they use for everything is paper dulls your snips a little bit, and you want ribbon ones to be really sharp. And when you get a brand new pair of snips, they are really sharp. So as long as you designate it as a ribbon scissors, you can certainly keep that and use it as your ribbon scissors. But yeah, you can, I'm sure if you just Google search ribbon scissors, I'm sure that 1,000 of them would pop up. But I do know that people just use their paper snips for them. You just have to make sure you don't cut paper with it. That's the main thing. Or anything else, because my paper snips tend to get used for all sorts of things. Whatever I need scissors for, I grab them and run. So, all right. Oh, thanks, Pam. All right. Well, I'm glad you're here catching me live. So, and Kathy, all right, thank you. So, all right, so I've got a couple of the snowflakes that I've cut, and I used these 3 little dies from the Frozen Edges dies, and I cut a piece of 3-color glimmer paper, and the colors in it are, I don't remember. I know Pretty Peacock is one of the colors. I feel like it's petal pink and maybe white or something. I can't remember the colors. They are online exclusives, so you'll find this paper in the online exclusives. So go take a peek at those next time you're out shopping, and look for that 3-color glimmer paper, and you'll see it out there. And Pretty Peacock, I think, is so pretty for Christmas and winter and all that good stuff. So, all right, so I'm taking one of the little snowflakes, and we're tucking it up here towards the top. And then we've got another little snowflake. And again, I'm just using glue dots, and the glue dots, for the most part, fit pretty perfectly in the center of these snowflakes, as long as you center the glue dot, which this one I got a little off center. So all you have to do is kind of roll the glue dot towards the middle, and then you'll be all centered and good to go. And then we're going to tuck that one over here. And then our final one. Am I out of glue? Oh, no, there's one more glue dot on here. So say, am I out of glue dots? Oh no. Apparently I should have grabbed another pack. We'll just take that one, and we will tuck it right over the top of the little border, just like that. All right, inside of the card is pretty simple as well. I've just got basic white cardstock, and this is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And again, all the measurements and everything will be out on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I'll link directly to the blog post in the description of the video once it goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time on Saturday. So you'll be able to find all the details there. And there will be a printable PDF tutorial and all that good stuff as well. So I've got my sentiment that I've stamped. Again, this is from the Frozen Edges stamp set. And then we're going to ink up the little snowflake. And we're just going to stamp that sort of randomly like here. Put a few snowflakes up above and a few down below. And that's going to be it for the inside of the card. So super quick and easy. See, I told you this was a fast card today. So, all right. Let me hope this is dry before I flip it over, and hopefully I don't smear it. Putting a little stamp and seal on here. And then we'll take that and put it on the inside of the card. Just center it roughly and hopefully get it on there fairly straight. So there we go. And I'm going to take this and fold it closed, and then I'm going to grab the bone folder and just run it across the top here. And I'm probably going to flip it over and give it another quick little crease there on the back to make sure I've done a good job of scoring it. And that's it for the card. So super quick and easy. Again, this stamp set bundle is called Frozen Edges, and it's kind of towards the back of the catalog, and not very well showcased in there. So definitely pull it out, take a look at it. And yeah, I just did. There's a little sketch challenge this week that's a similar look to this, and I just pulled it out for the sketch challenge and thought it was perfect. So, all right. So that's it for today. I appreciate everybody being here. Thanks so much for joining me on Friday. I will plan to be live around 2 o'clock Eastern time next week, Tuesday, with another project. And then next week, Friday, I'm actually going to be out of town, so I'm not going to be live next week, Friday. However, I think I'm going to go live on Thursday, probably Thursday. Probably going to be around the 2 o'clock Eastern time, but it kind of depends on when UPS gets here with my order. But I should have a pre-order, if all goes well, of the new online exclusives. So I will post out on my business Facebook page when my pre-order arrives, and you can come and check out the new online exclusive items that are available for demonstrators to order starting on October 1st, and will be available for everyone to order starting on, I think it's November 6th or 5th, somewhere in that time frame, but I'll let you know that once I know all the details. So, all right. Thanks everybody for joining today. I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll plan to see you back here around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday.